And I always say that, Kim, I know I'm President Trump's lawyer, but I really represent America and I represent what we were. What we were, and that's
and
really
the
what
future
I hope
of what we can be and will be, again, with the help of God, and we will go forward, hopefully in just, 11, 12 months time, and we will right this ship.
No, Alina Habba, you don't represent the United States of America, and you do a very horrible job representing Donald Trump. But then again, he gets the lawyer he deserves. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network. That is Alina Habba on the very popular right-wing podcast, the Kimberly Guilfoyle Show, hosted by one of the top Republican influencers, Don Jr.'s girlfriend or fiance. On that same interview here, Kimberly Guilfoyle turns to Alina Habba, who's representing Donald Trump in the New York Attorney General's civil fraud case, and says, "Could you please get my fiance and his brother off?" Play the clip.
It's a little favor here. If you can please get my fiance and his brother off, I'd really appreciate it. Really don't want to have to. I'm going to have to support Junior for the rest of his life. Oh my God. What is going on with the sparkles? That was so crazy.
What's the sparkles? Oh, you know what? It's that iPhone thing. I think.
Just very normal conversation there, and the fireworks randomly. Great production value going on there. What is going on? Then I want to show you this longer part of the interview. It's about a minute, but I want you to watch the whole thing, because in this minute, almost every word is so perfectly wrong. It's either false or just wrong on the law. It's actually a skill that Alina Habba was able to say so many things incorrectly and display such a lack of knowledge for the Constitution in such a short time span. Like, even if you tried to do it, could you fit it into that 1 minute here? Watch this clip and let me break it down. Play it.
Doesn't all of this implicate the Sixth Amendment and the right to a fair trial?
Yeah, First Amendment, Sixth Amendment. Imagine your lawyer going into court and not being able to put objections on the record for things they see that are improper and unethical. I'm not allowed to speak about it. I'm not allowed to speak about it in court or out. And that is a very frightening thing. How can I defend my client when I can't make a record for appeal? We know we're going to lose in this court, but we'd like to make a record for the appellate division, where judges, we hope, will actually consider the facts and the law. It's really been an unconstitutional demise of our country, Kim. I mean, that's the best way I could say it. I said it 100 times this weekend at every speech. We have to value the Constitution. We have to care about the basics of our country and our judicial system. And unfortunately, the fact that the president's lawyer has become his spokeswoman says it all. It is truly corrupt. I have seen it with my own eyes, and I wish that the cameras were in there to watch themselves. But the fact that he's sad that this case is over is insane. I could not have been happier to get out of there, because I need to move on and get this case where it needs to be, which is in front of real judges who are going to take real consideration of this hoax of a case.
You're absolutely right. Get it where it needs to be. Well stated.
Okay, let's break down that clip. First of all, she calls the Sixth Amendment the Sixth Amendment. Okay, but I won't quibble there. Let's actually look at what the Sixth Amendment of the United States Constitution says. In all criminal prosecutions, comma, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witness against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have assistance of counsel for his defense. The Sixth Amendment starts off with the words, in all criminal prosecutions, and you, Alina Habba and Kimberly Guilfoyle, are talking about a civil lawsuit brought by the New York Attorney General's office, a civil lawsuit, meaning for monetary damages against Donald Trump, the Trump Organization, Don Jr., Eric, and some others, and the Trump Revocable Trust for fraudulent financial valuations. This is not a criminal prosecution. What do you mean, the Sixth Amendment? And then you just throw out amendments, the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the 11th Amendment, and just saying random words. Okay, the First Amendment, because there is a limited gag order that prevents you and Donald Trump from attacking the judge's principal law clerk. That's the only gag order that exists. You could attack the judge. You can attack the process. You can attack New York Attorney General Letitia James. You just can't go after the principal law clerk because that prohibits the orderly administration of justice. You're saying that is a First Amendment violation? Oh, well, you cite the appellate division. They certainly didn't think so at all. So what do you even mean there? And then you say that you can't file objections. You're not able to object. You can't talk inside or outside of the court. You're talking right now. There are random fireworks going up in your in your video for reasons that are still unclear to me. The only thing you're limited in doing is attacking the judge's principal law clerk. You can make any objections you want to make.
Oh, hey, when did you get here? Let's take a quick break to talk about our next partner, Henson Shaving. Look, everyone knows how annoying cheap razors are. The cuts, the irritation, the frustration. And don't get me started with subscription razor services, the headaches that those can cause. That's why you gotta meet Henson Shaving. Henson Shaving is a family-owned aerospace parts manufacturer that has made parts for the ISS. That's the International Space Station and Mars rover, and now they're bringing precision engineering to your shaving experience. Razor blades, they're like diving boards. The longer the board, the more wobble, the more nicks, cuts, and scrapes. A bad shave, it isn't a blade problem. It's an extension problem. By using aerospace-grade CNC machines, Henson makes metal razors that extend just 0.0013 inches, which is less than the thickness of human hair. That means a secure and stable blade with a vibration-free shave. It gets better. The razor has built-in channels to evacuate hair and cream, which makes clogging virtually impossible. Seriously, Henson Shaving wants the best razor, not the best razor business. That means no plastic, no subscriptions, no proprietary blades, and no obsolescence. The Henson razor, it works with standard dual-edge blades to give you that old-school shave with the benefit of new-school tech. Once you own the Henson razor, it's only about $3 to $5 per year to replace the blades. My first shave with the Henson razor was incredibly refreshing. The design is sleek and the durability is top notch. The Henson razor is truly much better than your run-of-the-mill quote-unquote traditional razor brand. And the affordability factor is absolutely game-changing. No more wasting your money on expensive blades. With Henson Shaving, you get a year of blades for just $5. Okay, so here's what you have to do. It's time to say no to subscriptions and yes to a razor that'll last you a lifetime. Visit hensonshaving.com/Meidas to pick the razor for you and use code Meidas and you'll get 2 years worth of blades free with your razor. Just make sure to add them to your cart. That's 100 free blades when you head to hensonshaving.com/Meidas and use code Meidas. And now, back to the video.
As Judge Engoron recently said in denying the 5 motions for directed verdict that you filed in the civil, it's not a criminal case. I know that may be a confusing concept to you, Alina Habba, but it's a civil case. As Judge Engoron said, you know, most litigants follow the rules and you file a motion for directed verdict once after the plaintiff closes their case and before the defense puts on their case. You move for a directed verdict then. But y'all move for 5 directed verdicts. At random times, you would just make up directed verdict, directed verdict. These are motions to dismiss that take place during the trial itself. And Judge Engoron didn't even say, oh, you can't do it right now, it's the wrong time, even though it was the wrong time. He took it under consideration and then rejected all 5 of the motions for directed verdict all at once and said, fundamentally, y'all don't know what you are doing. A lie is still a lie. Yes, you can have different formulas for financial valuations. The judge is like, I understand that concept, but this isn't about having different formulas. It's what is input into the formulas is the fraud. When you say a building is fully occupied and it's vacant, that is fraud. When you put the highest possible rent per square footage for a fully leased building when it's not fully leased and it is rent controlled, and you input that into various financial valuation formulas, that is fraud. When you say a commercial property that you are intentionally suppressing the value of, yes, I'm talking about Mar-a-Lago, to pay less taxes, is now a residential property, that is fraud. These are false statements on financial statements. That's false. That's fraud. As Judge Ngoran said, at best, they're misstatements. At worst, that's fraud. That's what the case is about. But y'all apparently don't understand that and continue to gaslight over and over again. And then she wants to pretend she's some constitutional scholar. This is the unconstitutional demise of our country. By the way, New York Attorney General Letitia James announced today that she brought a case against Google, for example. Every day, New York Attorney General Letitia James is doing other stuff and prosecuting other types of fraud and prosecuting other types of wrongdoing across the state. I don't see the CEO of Google putting in all caps, "It is so unfair, everybody's against me, No, because that's not the way things operate outside of MAGA frickin' Loserville. That's why. And again, it is the most unqualified people like Alina Habba who want to lecture us about the Constitution. She wants to say, oh, I represent the United States of America. That's why I say MAGA is fascism plus idiocracy. It is this fascism of trying to overthrow and topple democracy, but it's also an idiocracy. It's a bunch of idiots that are part of this kind of MAGA movement. It's a bunch of losers. And it's like, and then they want to control us and represent us. Get away from us, Alina Habba. We don't want you near us right now. I know Donald Trump does, but we don't want you near our great country. And then they purport to be experts on things as part of their control. Just go away. They want to be the experts when it comes to COVID. They want to be the experts when it comes to the economy. They want to be the experts when it comes to science. They want to be the doctors when it comes to controlling women's reproductive rights. They want to be everything they can be. These unqualified and deeply disturbed people want to be in control. Get away from us. I'll show you this final clip right here. This is from Alina. I'm going to show you two more clips, actually. First clip I want to show you, this was Alina Habba bragging over the weekend at this speech she gave in Phoenix, Arizona at the top Republican influencer convention called American Fest, hosted by Turning Points USA. Here she is bragging about getting sanctioned and losing in federal court and somehow blaming fake news. I don't even know what she's even talking about. Play the clip.
That got assigned to a Clinton-appointed judge. And what do you think happened? Nobody's heard of the case, right? It's because it's gone. I never met the judge. I never walked into the courtroom. There were probably 50 lawyers representing all of the radical left. Clinton's lawyers, Mook's lawyers, and the list goes on and on and on. 1 month. It got dismissed, and me and President Trump got sanctioned $1 million for going against crooked Hillary. You didn't know that, did you? Fake news, folks. Fake news. They won't report it. But guess what? We paid that $1 million, and we're going to keep on fighting.
That's real. That's not AI. That's her. She's bragging about being a loser. And they're clapping for it. As my brother Brett said on the MeidasTouch podcast, there's this like MAGA martyrdom. The bigger losers they are, the more they get rewarded in Trump's world. And if you show a modicum of competence, then they push you out. And here Alina Habba is, again, trying to explain absolute presidential immunity when she has no clue what she is talking about. And not only that, she inadvertently admits here why Donald Trump does not have absolute presidential immunity, because she doesn't know the Constitution. She doesn't know what the Sixth Amendment says. She doesn't know what absolute presidential immunity is. Heck, when she went before the Second Circuit Court of Appeals within the past 2 weeks, and they asked her what the Blassingame v. Trump case stands for, she didn't know her own case. She didn't know the case involving Donald Trump that rejected his claim for absolute presidential immunity in civil cases because they found his conduct to be election and campaigning activity. So Alina Habba, when you go and do this interview and you say that Donald Trump must be immune from prosecutions because he was protecting elections, you are admitting that he is not entitled to absolute presidential immunity because that's not the role of the executive. Play the clip.
The Supreme Court is looking at presidential immunity, which means it's a protection for presidents so that they can actually operate without being afraid of being prosecuted, persecuted, and attacked when they come out of office. But what has happened? He's been prosecuted, persecuted, and attacked, and they're ignoring presidential immunity. So finally, the Supreme Court is taking it up on January 6th case and going to look at it really hard and say, look, we have no business attacking somebody who was within his scope of presidency, who has come in, was doing his job, was protecting the elections, was doing the things that a president should do. Instead, they call him an insurrectionist because they can't beat him in the polls.
Just a total lack of competence. I mean, again, it is this anti-democracy group of people, but it's also just a lack of core competency in the issues. Yet these people who lack the competency, look, if you lack the competency, just leave me alone. Like, I'm not out there trying to go to surgery rooms and perform brain surgeries. I'm not trying to fly airplanes. I'm sticking to the law. I'm sticking to what I know. But people who don't know what they are doing in MAGA world, and people who, again, have these deeply disturbed views, they're the ones who want to control us. Just get away from us. Get away from us, Alina Habba. Get away from us, MAGA. Just leave us alone. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Have a good one.
Thanks so much for watching. We're only a few subscribers short of 2 million subs. Please subscribe right now to the MeidasTouch YouTube channel for free and help us grow this unapologetically pro-democracy network.